We played pretty good Friday and played even better on Saturday. So I don't. Saturday was a big win. They're picked to win their conference, and I've played them enough to know that he does a good job, and they probably will. They've got a chance to beat an NCAA tournament team. So obviously that was a big win for us on Saturday. So played well both games. Felt like we got better throughout last week, and so obviously this week will be a big week for us as well.
Pretty new team that you have roster-wise, and we've discussed it several times. Oh, how do you like? What do you have to say about the chemistry right now and how everything is coming together?
Yeah, chemistry's been good. They play for each other. They compete for each other. They like each other. It's fun to be around every day. So the chemistry with a new group, as weird as it is, I've done it both ways where you got a bunch of people back and then done it where you've got a new group. It's almost easier when you have a new group because everything's fresh, everything's new. So uh, they've done a good job and they'll compete for each other. And it's been that way kind of since they've gotten here.
And what do you like mostly about this
I thought we played well. I mean, I think that's one. We tried to get 6 different game goals within our games, and the last 3 games prior, we'd had 5 game goals, the 3 wins, and then on Saturday we got all 6 game goals. So if you're doing that, that means you're playing really, really well. So obviously we played really well. Thought we guarded a decent amount. The ball moved. We've got enough weapons on the floor. I think that if we can move the ball and get guys in spots where they can be successful, and those guys did that this weekend.
Coach mentioned 4-1. Just how is that defensive effort looking? So it's easier just to get on the defensive end, especially with a new team right on the offense. So just how the defense looking?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be more connected defensively. I mean, sometimes you got offensive players that are gifted enough where they can jump up and make a shot at the end of the shot clock, and it looks like it's a good possession, even if it wasn't. So, defensively, you got to have everybody kind of on the same string, and there's less and less mistakes as you watch the film defensively. So, guys are competing. We're being pretty active on the defensive end, and again, so that's going to be big going forward, especially this week.
Then about all those weapons that you talked about, multiple scorers, you had DJ, and then you had Nathaniel.
Yeah.
What does it mean just having those types of players that who can step in and just fill a role?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've all got skill sets. Like DJ can really shoot the ball. So I mean, he made 7 of 8 on Saturday and made 5 or 6 on Friday. He can really shoot the ball. Well, we've got kind of got inside out, so people have got to figure out: are you going to double us in the post and let our guys like Keon and DJ shoot the ball? And I think we have some other guys that'll get going shooting the ball as well. And we've got some guys who can score around the basket too, like Nathaniel and Alex Matthews and things like that. So again, we've tried to build the team where we have enough balance of inside out, and I think we've done that, strike that balance so far.
And now 5 games in, just who's the player that you've seen just has been the leader on the floor, that extension of the coach's side?
I mean, you hope all of them to a certain extent. Obviously, Keon's been with me for 5 years, so you kind of rely on him heavy with a lot of things. But we're pretty interchangeable, and again, I think there's a lot of leadership. They all lead in different ways. So again, I think you kind of say all of them so far have done a good job.
You've been telling us a lot in the early portion of this season about kind of the recruiting philosophy change and the players that you're adding to the team now. 6'4", 6'5" guys that can really just go out there and run and play. You're not in conference play yet, but are you seeing that kind of pay dividends so far in the non-conference?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's rather than have bigs out there that can't play like we did last year, we got some guys who are undersized that can put the ball on the floor and are good in transition and can post up and shoot a little bit. So we've become harder to guard. It's allowed us to be more versatile on the defensive end as well. So again, you're right. As I watch games throughout the summer, though, I mean, like Angelo plays 2 big ones. There were a few others in our league that did, but I mean, most everyone was playing smaller. So I felt like that was a way that we could be more effective, and I think it's paid dividends so far, at least.
What can you say about the young guys who plays? They came in and played a pretty big role in Friday's game. 30-point win, as a matter of fact. So congratulations to that.
Yeah, I mean, you're counting on everybody. I mean, we had a meeting this morning talking about recruiting, and obviously, I mean, this year's team, we think we've got a hold, and hopefully they can keep going and stuff like that. But one thing I told the guys in the meeting was I think we got some young guys that can fill roles in the next couple of years. So that we're counting on. So just kind of need to continue to push them and get them better and be positive, encouraging with those guys. So that's how you like to build programs, like to have a balance of guys. And again, the young guys, I think are going to allow us to do that here.
You guys shot over 50% from both the field in general, and then at 3 as well, and then also got 16 rebounds. Yeah, rebound good team. Just what's that make of your team like that they're able to dominate on any type of position?
Yeah, I mean, we had a team one time where I coached, and we set the school record for threes made, but we also made more free throws than our opponent shot. that's a pretty good balance of inside out. I mean, and I think that's this team can do some things like that where we can make some shots, but we can also score the ball inside. We've got a balance. I thought our shot selection was better last weekend than it was the previous 3 games. I thought the first weekend we forced some shots, and we're trying to get them to buy into the fact if they can just move the ball one more time, you got somebody on the floor that can do that. Now, it's hard. That's the hard part of coaching. I mean, 2008 Kansas, they convinced their guys. They had NBA people come in there saying it matters what you do on the floor with your minutes as opposed to your numbers. So that's hard to get kids to buy into that say, hey, I'm going to turn down a pretty good shot and I'm going to pass it one more time because his shot's a little bit better than mine. But that's why percentages went up too, is we were able to not just get good shots, we got great shots, I thought.
So that brought up the 4-on-1 start. Just what are some areas that you guys can still improve on?
I think we're just getting back in transition. I thought Saturday they hurt us a little bit in transition. That's an area that we'll try to clean up this week as well. Zone offense stuff, try to clean some of that stuff up this week as well. And then stay in front of the ball, keep rebounding the ball, things like that. So there's still improvement. There's still things that we need to get better at, and hopefully that's what we're going to do today. We're going to work on our team, trying to help our team get better, and then we'll start prepping for conference games tomorrow. Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like obviously I've watched film and things like that. One area we really tried to improve on was our 3-on-2 and 2-on-1s in transition. And I think we were about perfect last weekend, both games on that. So the ball's moving better. There's no doubt about that. So just got to continue to get them to buy into that, move a little bit better. And then it allows us to space the floor too on Saturday. They got worried about that and allowed us to space the floor and let guys get in gaps and drive, kick, and made extra passes. And then all of a sudden we got to the rim or had open shots or whatever.
What can you say about your upcoming opponents?
Who?
What can you say about your upcoming opponents?
International is really good defensively. They're always really physical. They really guard you, hit you, grab you, hold you. It's going to be a physical game. Like we've played a few of those so far, and so that'll be an area that'll test us, especially on the offensive end. So it's always been a physical, grinded out game when we've played those guys. They're pretty good. They got some guys back and added some guys that are pretty deep. And then Kingsville's got a lot of guys back from last year. A lot of guys were all league guys. Good guards are back and things like that. So both similar in the way they play. They both put the ball on the floor. They both set a lot of ball screens and things like that. So we'll have to do a good job of guarding ball screens and stay in front of the ball against both those guys.
You said some of the excitement from the guys about starting to get into Lone Star now and playing some of these teams you guys know really well.
Yeah, I mean, that's Saturday. We'd say that's a big win, but let's get excited about these Lone Star ones that are coming up. I mean, Lone Star coaches voted us 13th in the league. So and I think there's a little chip on our shoulders going into these games and all the next 22 league games. We understand it's going to be a battle, and the goal is to get better every week. So we'll try to do that this week too.
How would it feel to, actually, rephrase that? How would it feel to, upset the doubters and everything like that voted yes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope they take on my personality a little bit. When people don't think that I can do things, I tend to be better, and I hope our guys are kind of the same way. And I've taken over a program where we had won 8 games, and then we shipped everybody out and got new guys in. We won the league and went to the NCAA tournament. So it's about getting the right people in place, and again, you hope you got some guys with chip on their shoulder to compete.